Whenever it comes to RTS games, it's really hard to try to micromanage your units, basically. Try to micromanage every situation in the field and in the same time, basically. You know, you gotta look at your income, you gotta look at your units, or you gotta look at your teammates, if they're gonna be dead or not, or you gotta look at the other enemy's teammates. Which one is the problem, and are they all the problem, or some of them are the problem? These are one of the most, mistakes that people make when it comes to basic micromanaging in RTS games or any games that require a little bit of strategy. So I'm going to be talking about a little bit of how to micromanage for beginners, give you guys a breakdown of how I usually micromanage in strategy games and in RTS games. Hi everyone, I'm JK and you're watching my video. What's up everyone? Before we get started on the video, I just want to talk about Nanoleaf. Nanoleaf is basically an LED company that does sell a lot of great designs of just LED lights in general, basically. And what the best thing about these LED lights in general when it comes to Nanoleaf is you can design them in any shape and any form as you like. If you see in my Twitch channel, and I'll put my Twitch link at the bottom, twitch.tv/JKJustKiddingOfficial, I usually move them around a little bit like some might have a ribbon type, some might have a square type, but some design types, but majority of them is gonna be different depending on what you want and have that kind of vibrant feeling in your room. Do you want it as a mountain? Do you want it as a V? Do you want it as anything you want? And the best part is that you can actually use your phone in order to control the lights, basically. Here, let me just show you how it's set. So I already have default lights. So what I'm going to do here, I'm going to go to color burst. Color burst right here. I'm going to press that. Alright, here we go. Now it's changing little bit by little. Look at that. And you can also have it connected to music as well, basically. So sounds and everything will be connected and we'll have the thing responded to the lights. And also I actually have it connected to my chat, so my chat can actually control the lights from their phones. They go to the redemption channel points and they can actually redeem blue, yellow, red, orange, just any kind of color, and it will change the lights in general. It's very cool. You guys should try it out on my Twitch channel. Like I said before, links in the description. Alright, without further ado, let's get started here, guys. One of the reasons why that RTS games are really difficult to play for the majority of the time for beginners or just people that haven't played RTS games in general is because of the fact that RTS games is the equivalent to math as your worst subject in school, basically. It's literally the hardest genre of games I've ever seen in all of history, basically. Because of RPG games, that might take a while to try to attain. FPS games that probably for FPS games that relies more on your skill, basically. So you don't really need to worry about other problems from the outside specter. But when it comes to RTS games, you have to really worry about that kind of stuff, to be honest. And when it comes to RTS games, you really need to worry about your surroundings. You have to worry about many factors, including economics, like I said before, your teammates, the enemy's units, and about your situation right now, basically. And you really have to look on all sides of the specter in order to deal with the enemy, in order to win effectively. Beginners right now need to form a habit right now with RTS games in order to keep on winning more battles. So that habit seems to be more of micromanaging. If you don't know how to do micromanaging, you're not going to win for the majority of your battles, to be honest. I don't think you can win any other RTS battles without micromanaging, to be honest. I don't think you can, it's not possible, to be honest. You really need to look at all three sides of the battle, basically. You gotta look at your front, your flanks, and your rear, basically. You really gotta check your surroundings, see what's up there, and not just look at your surroundings, the most important settings. You gotta checklist every situation that's there. Do you have it under control? Do you have it maintained, basically? And for this kind of guide, I am going to be teaching you guys a couple of the steps that I've learned in order to deal with micromanaging and how to make good habits in order to be better when it comes to not just in RTS games, but in any kind of game in general. Basically, this will give you a good amount of like surroundings, and you'll be able to master and develop it over time once you get the experience for it, basically. So let's get started on that. One of the first steps that I do in order to assess a battle, in order to like try to micromanage, you know, everything that's going on in the battlefield or with my teammates or just a game in general, is to list what's most important to the least important. So keep in mind, each one of these things are important, but you gotta list what situations are more important to you than the least one, basically. One of my examples that I'm going to show you right now is with Rome 2 Total War, while I'm going against Carthage while I have Nabatea. Now, if you don't know about this faction, is that Nabatea doesn't really have a lot of good infantry units. They have pretty substantial good camel cataphracts. I mean, what can you do with like hump day cataphracts? Hump day. But anyways, when it comes to this faction, you know, you have a lot of good superior cavalry, but not with the infantry. While Carthage, on the other hand, has really superior infantry. They have a lot of good mercenaries. As you can see here, they have really good heavy Libyan infantry that is to be able to like just cut through any kind of lines and to be able to have a shield wall, basically, so that they can be able to defend, and have the cavalry, in which they had on the right side, I believe, you know, to be able to flank around me. They had 3 units of cavalry, while I believe I only had 2. But the thing is, that is the most important factor that I put in, basically. While the cavalry that they had was implemented more onto the right side, their cavalry on the left was not. They only had 1 unit of cavalry on the other side, while I had 4 cavalry on that left, the same side that he had, basically. So I used that to my advantage. So that was, I marked down as the most important factor for the battlefield. I gotta implement more with the left side of that field in order to take advantage of the flanks, basically. And I know I won't be able to win the right battles, as you'll be able to see in the video and the recordings right here, basically, is that, you know, my cavalry on the right begins to falter because I don't really have a lot of backup. But the thing is, I don't really give up on that like set of cavalry units right there and now, basically. What I do with them is basically make a rampage, try to get as much damage and hold off the right cavalry as much as possible, so that my cavalry on the left can just counter attack, and to be able to take out the cavalry on the left, and to result to taking out the missile infantry in the rear, because the fact the missile infantry that they had was superior to mine. So that was my objective, basically. I need to get inside the army lines and to be able to make a rampage inside the heavy lines of their infantry. Their infantry was their most heaviest part, but their cavalry, when it comes to their flanks, was very uneven, so I took advantage of that. So the least important for me was the infantry. I had pretty decent infantry there, but not really good decent infantry. You know, my spear infantry was able to hold off for a little bit longer, but if I did falter and delayed myself for flanking attacks, then the spear infantry would just falter, because the heavy infantry, the greater amounts of attack for the lighter infantry would eventually be able to take me down. So that was my least concern. My most concern was my flanks, and I implemented more of my cavalry. So I used more of my cavalry to its height, basically, which means I put that as my top priority list, to take out the cavalry on the right side, or to hold them off as long as possible, and use my cavalry on the left side to do as much damage as I can on the flanks, the missile infantry, and the rear of the infantry, just to hit and run tactics. If I did indeed lose my, if I have lost my cavalry then and now, I would not have won the battle, because they had a decent amount of cavalry. So whenever it came to them using their cavalry in the flanks, as you can see, for the majority of the time, they have been pretty good with their flanking attacks and their rear attacks, because of the fact I wasn't able to kill them quickly on the right side. I would have lost the battle then if it weren't for me trying to attack their infantry first and their front lines, because that was one of the priorities I had to go to with my cavalry and their flanks, basically. So I kept that important on the list. Instead of using my infantry to be the biggest factor, I used my cavalry as my greatest factor. And that was the faction was supposed to do. It was supposed to be used as a shock cavalry and melee type of cavalry. They're fast and they could do some devastating charges at the front and even more with the flanks and at the rear basically. The second step of trying to micromanage your game or the situation that you're trying to deal with is to basically look at each place one at a time for about a couple of seconds, switch to another place, and to switch to another place. I'm not sure what this is. It's like those martial art movies where Bruce Lee is taking out like 10 people. It's not like he's killing the person right away. He's not concentrating on one person and then going to another person. If everyone did that, everyone would be a loser then. Much like I was doing for the majority of the time in Rome 2 Total War games, I was looking at one point of the battlefield because I thought eliminate that area, then I could be able to deal with other areas. But what happened was, for the majority of the time, my cavalry was not prepared on the other side that I was not looking at, and the infantry was getting decimated because I was not assisting them more enough because the cavalry on the other side was not helping them out because I was not controlling them. I was dealing with one place at a time basically, and just going to another place and just trying to look at that one and be like, no, not now, I gotta deal with this right now, please don't bother me about that. You can't be doing that in RTS games or in strategy games in general. You have to look around all your surroundings. Try to get those little steps, command those troops to do one step at a time in order to go to the next one. You won't be winning those battles, but what you're doing is that you're trying to get them busy with trying to deal with the infantry or the cavalry or just any other enemies in general. Just like any other games, you're trying to manage your surroundings, you're trying to manage whoever's trying to get you basically. And for the majority of the time when it comes to RTS games, you're really gonna need to deal with that. At one point you're gonna need to deal with the economics, and then you gotta deal with the money, you gotta deal with the buildings, you gotta deal with the infantry. You really need to micromanage your upgrades, micromanage your units basically, trying to attack the opponents or defending your buildings from the other opponents basically. And these are the factors that you need to come in whenever it becomes more efficient that way, because when you do this, you're looking at the entire battlefield. You're seeing what needs help, what needs to be done. It doesn't matter if you go from left to right. What I ask from you guys is basically manage one side of the battlefield for about a couple seconds, go to another battlefield, manage that for about a couple seconds, and then the other area of the battlefield, do that for a couple seconds, and just go around, repeat that step every time. And like I said before, with the first step, see what's more important to deal with, and then deal with the other stuff. Like I said before, every least important, doesn't matter if it's the least important, they are the most important, because of that, if you're not bothered by them, then you're gonna be screwed if you're not watching over them basically. So you gotta really see, okay, this one's more important, I'm gonna have to deal with this situation. Once I'm done with that, for about a couple of seconds, I'm gonna deal with this one, and then this one, and then that one basically. So that's the point of these two kind of steps to be able to micromanage. And if you guys do try to be able to implement these steps into the battlefield or just in the games with your teammates basically, then you'll probably be doing well, to be honest, because this doesn't really build up skills. This is not to guarantee wins, to be honest. It takes time and it takes practice. Practice and time, is the most important part when it comes to RTS games and other games that do require a little bit of strategy, to be honest. But if you do implement these strategic tips from me, then you'll probably be able to master it, probably far more than I would have, because I'm still learning it. But I'm giving you guys the basics of how to micromanage and the steps and the keys to be able to micromanage. If you guys can go over that, make sure you let me know in the comments, because if you guys do so, I'm proud of you. To be better than me, I'm happy. If you implement these steps and you're better than me, perfect. Go for it, man. That's amazing. You should have fun while you're winning games, while you're smacking noobs, or I don't think that's the right way to say it, but majority of the time when it comes to these RTS guides, I want to make sure that the beginners or just haters of RTS out there can have a chance to be able to learn how to play these RTS games. And what's the point of you learning or just playing the game if you don't have anyone to teach you? I might as well give you guys the tips, because I suck at it still. I'm still trying to learn. I still got a lot of things to learn. I'm no professional, like I said, But when it comes to beginners, why not I teach them the steps of how to play RTS games and to have fun? Because we all love to have fun in video games for the majority of the time, and when it comes to like, you know, RTS games, they're hard, you know, but why not I give you the steps to do so? The goal for this video for you is to try to practice and to try to go above and beyond me, if you guys can. But I'm pretty sure you guys can. You guys got this. So if you guys watched until the end of the video, so if you guys came until the end of the video, thank you guys so much for watching the video in general. I will be doing more of these videos every week or so, just one video every week, because I am still in school. This is my last year. Holy shoot, this is actually my last year. So if you guys do want to support the channel, it's free to subscribe, to like, and to comment down below of like just any other guides you guys want to like see basically. And also I also do a RTS program in which I take you guys into a 4-week program, just 1 day a week, 30 or an hour like a week basically, so I don't waste your guys' time on other stuff, because I understand everyone has their own priorities of school, work, and anything in general. So I want to make this like short and most efficient as possible basically. And also in the 5th week as well, I am going to be choosing one of you lucky students in order to be featured in one of my YouTube videos, to be competing against me if you guys can, you know, test yourself against me, and to be also like be featured on my streams so we can go up against, you know, random players, or to be going up against another person and I'll be spectating you guys from a bird's eye view to see what you guys are doing. I'm not going to be giving you advice. I am actually going to just be commenting on your gameplay, and at the end, if you do win or lose, I'm going to, you know, tell you guys what you did wrong, what you did right there, what you did a good job on basically. And yeah, you know, if you guys are interested of an RTS program to be featured on my YouTube and on my Twitch videos, or if you guys are interested of being featured in my YouTube videos and on my Twitch stream basically, then make sure you guys come down to my Discord, DM me on Discord, you know, if you guys are interested or not. And it's basically for free for the first 4 people. So I already got the first 5 people that do sign up will be for free basically. I've already got 5 people already signed up. That's already for free. And you guys, all of you guys, the first 10 people of this lifetime will also get free access to my ebook that I'm going to be giving out to you guys for free as well. That'll be coming out in next year or around December basically. Anyways, thank you guys for watching today, and I'll see you guys next time for the Republic. I'll see you guys next time.